Hello, welcome back to My Sword and Musket. Good to see you again. I've got a really interesting piece to look at today. It's a 12-bore coach gun from about the 1800s. I'll take you through it, show you the significant parts, and then we'll have a go at firing it. Always fun, hence the paraphernalia. But basically, we have a 12-bore with additional defense if you happen to miss. That's neatly stows along the top of the barrel. Right, let's have a closer look at this. So what we're looking at is a beautifully hand-finished, handmade, double-barrel, 12-bore coach gun by W.Jones. Now you'd think W.Jones is a common name and it's going to be difficult to track him down. Well, there are certain clues which have helped me work out exactly where this gun came from in the most probable certain way. What we have here is 12-bore side by side with a ramrod, flintlock with swan neck cocks and roll of frisons, and we have a spring out bayonet stocked in a beautiful walnut stock. So there's the spring mechanism for the bayonet and the ramrod stored underneath by ramrod pipes. Move up the barrel, there's the roll of frison and a flash pan. Swan neck cocks, all beautifully engraved, a stepped lock with the maker's name W.Jones. Double trigger, beautifully checkered wrist, piece of select walnut. A W.Jones in business in Birmingham at 86 Lichfield Street, Birmingham, from 1811 to 1819. Quite a formidable weapon in its day. See how wide the stock is there, because the hammers and the locker outboard. There's the release catch for the bayonet. By pulling that backwards, it simply flips forwards. Then we move along the comb. Look at the engraved tang of the brass butt plate, and you've got the standard fashionable stand of arms of British guns of the day. So no expense spared here, lots of fine engraving. Damascus barrels. All in all, a lovely piece. Quick view of the other side, and the detail is the same, and that's a skill in itself, keeping everything exactly the same. Remember, these locks were hand finished and hand fitted. W.Jones, look at the sunburst in that screw, engraved screw in the center. Roll of frisons, there's the touch hole, little bit of corrosion caused by obviously black powder. Flints are in position in their leather holders. There's the pin for taking the barrels out. You have to remove the ramrod. So let's take it apart and see what clues there are to work out where it came from, because there is no address on the upper rib. The one thing we can be sure of is that this is a coaching gun meant for defensive use on a mail coach or a local coach when the highways were a dangerous place to travel. And this would have been an effective means of seeing off a highwayman. To remove the barrels, I've taken out a ramrod, because that is integral with the stock, and slid over this pin. And now the barrels will lift up and come out of the hut area. We have the barrels off. There's the inside and the large hooks, female side, that the barrel hooks into. If we turn it over underneath, we can look at these proof marks. Now, each barrel is proofed. They were proofed separately. They had to prove themselves independently. You've got a V mark towards the end. That's the viewing mark with the cross scepters of the Birmingham proof house, and a final proof mark which is clearer on the second barrel. So viewing and proof. It's been inspected and it's been fired and tested. So in those days, around about 1800 to 1820, that is now considered safe to fire. Of course, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then. So let's put it back together and look at the firing process. First of all, we fill the flash pan and primer hole with a fine powder, which is more likely to go off from a spark. And that's done purely from a measurement from this bottle. Now, I've filled it level. The next stage is the main charge, which goes down the muzzle from the front end, which I've taken from this powder flask here. I will then put in a wad. Using the ramrod, I've pushed down the load so it's nice and firm. Now, if I was out to really kill someone or shoot something, the next stage would be the shot, and then that would get another wad on top of that to stop the shot falling out. So let's see the principle of this thing actually igniting, and replace the ramrod and give it a go. We can edit it. Here we go again, the other barrel for the highwayman. And if that doesn't work, job done, coach defended. There is no doubt that this smoking gun would have been an excellent deterrent to any highwayman that dared to try and rob the coach. And if he was still staggering around with his face peeled back, we could still skewer him and get him to keep his filthy hands off our money and our belongings and our women. Anyway, thanks for joining us at Buy Sword and Musket. Come back again, click like or subscribe, and don't let those highwaymen get your belongings.